Hey, this is Mike McAdam for Gen X Guitar. Today I'm going to show you how to bend out of tune. So stick around and I will show you how to play badly. Okay, so I'm being a little facetious with this title, but I think when you bend strings on the guitar, there are two primary types of bending in my opinion. There is what I call lazy bending, where you're sort of bending above the pitch or below the pitch. And then you have what I call absolute bending, which is more like a pedal steel in country. The note goes up, the note goes down. So what I want to do is talk about one of the great properties of the guitar, and this is something you can't do with, say, a piano, where if you look at where bending comes from, in my opinion, it's basically trying to imitate the human voice. And you have people who will use the whammy bar on the guitar, or they'll use a slide to try to hit a lot of those in between notes. So what I want to do is today we're going to play in the key of G. So what I'm going to lay out here is these chromatic notes just from B flat or on the third string, B flat, B, C, C sharp to D. And I want to look at all the places we could theoretically bend between those notes. So if I look at it, a lot of times what I'll do is if I'm playing in the key of G, I'm going to roll a little track here. So with that example, I'm purposely trying to create tension by bending out of tune. Now, this is sort of like salt when you're cooking. I might think there's too much, you might think it's perfect. So it's just a matter of how much you want to do that. So a lot of times it turns into what I call drunken phrasing, where it sounds kind of like it's seasick, where it's not landing on absolute pitches. So let's experiment with this a little more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of overbend and then slowly bring it down, and you'll hear where that creates an effect as well. That's going to sound like this. So here, you're hitting not only the notes, but there's a lot of kind of half pitches or microtones in between. A couple of good examples of this are if you listen to the Blues Breaker version of Malted Milk Blues with Eric Clapton singing and soloing, he's doing a little bit of this in there. Also, my favorite example of this is Let Me Love You Baby by the Jeff Beck Group. And Beck, throughout the solo, is really playing with this idea a lot, where the notes are overbent, underbent, and it sounds like it's intentional, but it really kind of does what Beck always did, which was kind of bastardize the blues a little bit. So this idea is something you should mess around with. Again, I'm just taking these 5 notes between B flat and D, overbending them, underbending them, and really trying to hit those pitches in between. You can do this in other places. If you find this video enjoyable, I could do another video where we look at different places on the guitar where we can open this up a little bit. But I suggest if you haven't played around with this idea, just start with those notes on the G string and see what you find. So today for gear, I am using the Schecter Solo 2 Special that I recently purchased. May do a review on this at some point. This guitar is great. I love P90s. I love all mahogany guitars. They just do it for me. Our stock amp is my Fender 71 Princeton non-reverb. Love this amp. It does everything really well. I had someone asking me about the microphones that are being used. I have a Unidyne SM57 that sounds fantastic. It really has a lot of that scratchiness that a normal 57 has removed. And I have a Royer 121 that I'm also using. That combination seems to be working for me right now. And that's basically it. So that's all I have for today. If you find this lesson useful, please like, comment, and subscribe to our content. We'll be doing some more in the future. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching us at Gen X Guitar.